Your flight path is the final step before you enter into the Wealth Lighthouse levels to go up to red and orange and yellow and green, because again, just like the pilot wouldn't ever dream of taking off before actually making sure they had a flight path plotted based on where their destination is and based on what's happening with the weather, you also should not go forward without having a flight path to say, based on where my dream destination is, based on my future vision, what does that look like 1, 2, 3 months from now? What does it look like 6 months from now? And there's always a way to break it back down in such a way that we can then get really focused at every 3 months by 3 months. This does not matter if you are struggling and you're in debt and you're thinking, I don't even know how I'm going to earn any extra money at this point, and I just created a future vision which is saying I'm going to double my income. I don't know. Don't worry about the how and the who. The most important thing to begin with is to get really clear on the what and the when. And by actually just getting clear on that to begin with and saying, well, that's what I'm saying I'm going to do, then all of your focus then becomes learning what needs to happen in order for that to happen, using your natural genius, using the different steps that we're going to be taking within the missions up ahead. But the most important thing, first of all, is to get down, here's what's going to happen, here's when it's going to happen, based on me already now saying, here's where I am, here's where I'd love to be 1 year from now. So let's have a look at what those steps are within the playbook. And again, just follow these through so that by the time you're done, you know you can go back, you can recheck your numbers in the assessment. Maybe they're not all at 10, maybe they're at 5 or 6 now, but you'll see those improvements happening, and it gives you that ability to now get the right team together to help you with numbers or to help you with the detail so that you actually get the right measures. And remember, we treasure what we measure. So the more that you're actually starting to think in this way, just like if you wanted to go out and be an athlete, just like if you wanted to go out and diet and get healthier, you'd start by actually having, what's that image of where I'm actually looking to go compared to where I am? And then what would that mean in terms of the time I'm putting aside and the steps and the milestones that I'm putting in place to get me from where I am to where I want to get to. So let's have a look at them. Let's start with A6. A6 is all about having a written flight path for the year. And you'll see here, we've actually got a series of different things, which some of them are numbers, some of them are just descriptive, but these give you a monthly personal and financial milestone to achieve your vision. And in this case, we're actually starting quarter by quarter. So within the quarter by quarter, you can track those and then you can break them even into months. But within each quarter, you're saying, well, based on what I've said my personal income is in a year, what I know it is right now, let's just make it simple and say, let's imagine that you were just breaking that up every 3 months to be taking you a quarter of the way there. So let's say you wanted to, increase your income by $2,000 over that period. That's increasing it by $500 every 3 months. Now, like I said, don't worry about how that's going to happen yet. The most important thing is to actually be thinking, if I'm going to be aiming at getting to this within 1 year, if after 3 months I've just got a quarter of the way there, well, that makes it easier to do. Now, what could be the things I'd be looking out for that allow me to get there? Same when it comes to your net assets, same when it comes to what will be different about what's going on with your time. Some people decide they're going to be doing an even better job in their job. Some people take on a second job or quit their job and start a business. Again, this is about actually saying, here's my ideal of what will be happening in my time 3, 6, 9 months out from now. Same goes with your identity. At what point are you actually now saying, here's my identity and that I'm getting clear on? Same goes with whatever your job or your business is. Are you launching something new? Are you developing and growing what you've got right now? Remember, you don't need to have all of this complete right now. You just need to know where there's a gap and what it is that you're actually looking to fill. Same with your mentors, your team. At every one of these levels, your customers, your partners, your health, your family, friends, passions, pastimes, contribution, every different one of the areas that we talked about already within your dream destination, within your future vision, what would be happening quarter by quarter now moving forward. And just take the time now to go through each of those and see what starts to show up. Same now goes for A7. All my personal and financial milestones stretch me and strengthen me, but do not break or weaken me. Have a look at what you've actually now said and actually write down which of the milestones feel too high. Because maybe some of them are just like, wow, that one is just so scary. That's the most important thing, is to actually know already, well, that one might be more of a challenge, but be aware of that at this point. And then say, what actions will you take to lower the milestone or increase your certainty? Because you may not need to lower it. It may be that you're going to go, for example, with a goal where you're now going to go and meet with other people that have already achieved that goal. And of course, that's going to increase your certainty. You're going to be able to get to it. Maybe it's going to be that you're going to go and invest a certain amount of time to study towards a certain goal. And of course, that's also going to improve your ability to get there. Or the third one might even be that you're going to actually get a team around you that are going to help you to get to that place as well. In any one of these cases, you're going to find that your certainty can grow just by the actions you decide to take. And that makes life a whole lot easier to get there in the first place. And which of the milestones feel too low? Because for some of these as well, they're not inspiring enough to even be doing. So which ones are too low in such a way you think, you know what, maybe I do need to be doing something different with my family right now or with my loved one. Maybe there is something more I should be doing with my health. And when you actually stretch that out so that suddenly that becomes more inspiring to you, then again, you get that growth you're looking for in this coming year. And what are the actions that will raise the milestone or increase your motivation within that area? Once you complete on that, and again, you can do it now and come back to this, or you can listen through and then go back and review. But now we're getting to A8, which is I have a daily, weekly, and monthly rhythm that I follow to self-correct myself on my journey using my natural genius. We all need a different rhythm, and every one of us needs a different rhythm based on where we are right now as well. Because some of us, we're just so stressed out and we haven't got enough time because there's either too much opportunity or there's too many problems coming our way. So the most important thing is to make sure that you have a rhythm so you don't become a liability in your own life where you can't even figure out the things that need to be done. And the way for that to happen is to use the tools that I've shared in the book, and at the same time to use the videos that are available so you start to see how you can be thinking differently about your rhythm based on your genius. So here, I actually explain myself how I go about doing it. And as you can see here, I say the challenge for most people who try and commit to a new vision in their life is that the day-to-day pressures is just taking over so they can't even get the time to breathe. But just like a pilot who checks their flight path regularly to get to the destination, your self-correction will come by regularly being able to self-correct and check in to ensure that you stay on track. So set a time every day, just 15 minutes is good enough, when you can check in on your future vision, your flight path, and your pre-flight checklist. So that becomes a time when you're going to be checking in to see how you're doing. What time will you be setting for your daily review? And if you happen to be using a calendar system or something to remind you, put that in there right now so you don't forget. That's one of the most important things. And the second thing is that at the same time every week, take time out so that you can actually preview the coming week. So you can actually say, look, what things I actually did that actually have improved now, and here's the things I'm going to be doing to improve moving forward as well. And write down whatever's the day and time that you're going to set for your weekly review. And finally, with your team, with everyone around you, to be able to check in with everything we're going to go through on a monthly basis, what is the day and time that you're going to be setting for your monthly review? Now we're going to A9. I'm disciplined at keeping focus on my future vision and flight path, and I'm flexible with any change in direction to keep myself clear and inspired. This is not about being rigid, where you have to be exactly on your flight path. It's about knowing that even if you go a little bit off detour, you know how to get back onto path again. Just like if you're driving to a friend's house and you see something interesting, you might go off the route to come back on again. But at the same time, you're still going to make sure you get to that friend's house by the time you said you're going to be there. So this is about basically saying, right, so following these first 8 steps, I'll be keeping track on my vision, but the best way to be able to make sure that I actually achieve it is that I now have a sense check. So this sense check is that I'm always coming back to check in on it again and again. So if you've lost focus or direction, who are you going to turn to for support? Because this will happen. It's not like it's going to be perfect. So who are you going to go to that's going to connect? What 3 steps can you take right now to regain your commitment to the future vision and flight path every time you find yourself going, oops, I went totally off path, right? What would it be that you'd want to do at this point? Maybe there's someone that can hold you accountable. Maybe there's a way you can remind yourself to stay back on. Maybe it would be to go back to certain parts of the book and reread those books to re-inspire you to get back on track. But I found that, again, like all habits in my life, I found that if I have a sense check which actually brings me back on course, then when I notice that I'm off course, it allows me to know what steps I need to take immediately to auto-correct. So what would they be for you? And finally, A10. I use my future vision as my compass, helping me to prioritize where I should be focusing all my time and effort every day. So if you write your future vision and then you forget about it for 6 months or 12 months, there's a pretty good chance you're going to go right off course, and you're not, as a result of that, being able to actually giving yourself even a fair chance to get the result you're looking for. It's a little bit like having, a bunch of kids coming in to play football, and you kind of like say, right, kids, we're going to start the game, and then you wander off, and there's nothing keeping everyone focused at the game for the 90 minutes of the game. And guess what happens? Within 10, 20 minutes, some of them might be playing, some might have wandered off to do something else, and you're going to come back, and without question, you're going to find at the end of it, your plan for that game worked out nothing like what you wanted. So this one here, which is actually saying, make sure that your future vision is creating a flight path that allows you to at least know where you want to go. The great thing about doing that is it allows you to be able to use the different steps within this entire Genius U mission to be able to then keep reinforcing and reinforming where you want to go on your path as well. I want to share with you that within my experience, all the people that I have mentored, and every time that we have actually had our mentoring sessions, without fail, have always gone a little bit off course one way or another. But all it takes is to say, okay, well, look, we're off course now. Remember what you said you wanted to, oh yeah, that's right. Well, do you still want to go on that course? Do you want to move to another course? And sometimes people will go and they'll redesign their future vision for the year. That's okay to do that. It's like flying to Los Angeles and suddenly realizing you want to go to Alaska. Well, if you've got enough fuel in the tank and if you're at a point when you can change direction and do that, then of course you can fly anywhere in the world you want to go to. But the most important thing is to know you're always flying somewhere. And the passengers coming with you, they actually want to go to those same places as well. So that's what I share here, is that you're now saying here, if you're not using all your focus and effort towards the area where you want to get to, then what is it that you can do differently? What are the things you can either stop doing or start doing to ensure you keep your future vision as your compass every day? Put your notes down, write what that happens to be. And here's what I want to share at this point for everybody at this key stage of this mission. By the time this mission completes, you will have the sense of where you want to go. And for some of you, you'll be super inspired. You might be going, I am just so clear now where I want to go. I'm ready to roll, let's do it. You might even have some very clear ideas of actions to take straight away. But for others who are not used to doing this, we might go, I have no idea. I've got some idea of where I'd like to go, but I keep on having all these thoughts coming to my mind about what I can't do and the reasons that I can't do it. So all that negative talk from the past keeps coming in again. So we're going to be in a range. We're all in part of that spectrum. Know that your level in the spectrum will have a lot to do with what you're seeing. So if you're infrared, red level, you're seeing like the infrared goggles. You're seeing with the red colors where there's no depth perception. If you're at green, yellow level, blue level, then you can see far more high resolution. So already the things I'm sharing, you're going, yep, I'm committed, I'm making that happen. I'm going to make this the best year I've ever had. What's most important as you go forward right now is to know we're all in this together and that there's a community here. And there'll be other people that can share their stories and their experiences with you too. I'll be constantly sharing as well. And don't worry if it's taking longer than you want it to get to the result. Just know as long as you stay committed to the result and you keep on looking at the case studies or examples of others who've gone through the same thing as you, something will click along the way. Either because you'll make it click yourself, you get the right team in place, or because you'll hear the right story that suddenly you go, oh, that person went through the same thing as me, but now I can see it. And most importantly, you'll keep focused at not what you shouldn't be doing, but at what you should be doing. And that is the most important thing of all, to take it one step at a time. And the next step from here is to make sure you're measuring your money and that you're actually getting everything in place to go infrared to red, or whichever is the level that you're at, to take it up the next level within that mission.